Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Sportsfellas.
Yeah. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. So let me introduce to my straight ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Patrick.
This is Chuck.
And this is Don.
And this is Carlos. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. So we're going to cover a variety of subjects today. So we have the NBA Finals. We also have the NFL upcoming season. We also have the MLB and the fight of McGregor versus Poirier. Did I say that right, Chuck?
Poirier.
Okay, I tried.
I
tried. Sorry if I messed it up.
I'm sure he's offended now. So.
Oh, boy. And then we also have the new segment called Mano a Mano. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start off with the NBA Finals. So we have, who made it to the finals representing the Eastern Conference, we have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Western Conference champion, Phoenix Suns. So let's go dive in a little bit of their history. So Milwaukee, last time they've made their final appearance was back in 1974. They also won in 1971. They beat the Bullets. They lost to the Celtics in 74, and now they represent this year's finals. Representing the West, we have the Phoenix Suns, also with 3 appearances. They went in 76, 93, and 21. Unfortunately, they also lost to the Celtics in 76. They lost to the Bulls in 93, and they represent this year in 21. So I'm going to start this off with Chuck. Who do you got in the finals, and how many games you think they will win?
Well, it's pretty clear at this rate. It's going to go probably no more than 5 games to the Suns. They got injuries their way, but with how they're playing as a team as a whole, they're young. I mean, they seem to want it more. They're hungrier, and the coaches and the players are showing it on the court. So I say 5 games going to Phoenix.
How about you, Patrick?
I'm actually going to go 6, and I will go with Phoenix. Phoenix is not a great away team. They are really strong home. That's how the first 2 games, they were just dominating. Offensively, defensively. When they go to Milwaukee's just going to be killing them. Giannis is great at home. Most of the guys on the team are great at home too. So I think they'll probably pull out 2 wins. But then when they go back to Phoenix is going to win, and they're going to win at home. So it's Phoenix 4-2.
How about you, Don?
I think I'm going to roll with Patrick on this one. Phoenix and 6. Because right now, Milwaukee does seem like they don't have it just together cohesively. And right now, Phoenix is just firing on all cylinders. Their 3-point shooting is just too strong right now. Unless Milwaukee can find a way to kind of, contain that, I don't see them making it past 6 games.
And I'm going to say Phoenix as well. The problem that I'm having right now with the Bucks is that game against the Nets, that was one of the best games in the playoff series. I enjoyed it. I mean, watching that game 7.
Are you talking Brooklyn?
Yes, again, yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
Yes, of course. And in that series, everyone stepped up when they needed to step up. The problem I'm looking at here in the finals is that Milwaukee has a hard time against the pick and roll. Mm-hmm. I'm noticing that the coach, for some reason, coach is not making the adjustments right. And he's very notorious for that, for not making adjustments when it's needed to get done. I mean, he's going against a guy that's in CP3 that in the 16 years that he's been in the league, he's finally in the NBA Finals. He is hungry. Mm-hmm. The leader in CP3 is hungry. And Devin Booker, awesome player to watch. Yeah. And so when I look at the games, and I've been just looking at how they're playing. I mean, Giannis, don't get me wrong, he's scoring, 40 points? 40 points a game. That's amazing. Yeah. But still, they're allowing him to get his points and everything. But where is Drew Holiday? Has he been stepping up? Also Middleton, Brook Lopez. They've got a good team there, but for some reason they're just, I question the way that they're playing when they're going against Phoenix. For some reason, Phoenix has this unity the way that they're playing, and that's what's making them dangerous. So real quick, Chuck, I was going to ask you, so for Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that Phoenix has got their path was easier than the Bucks?
I don't know that I could say easier. I felt like they handled their opponents better.
Mhm.
So, granted, you go against the Lakers and a low seed Lakers, which I would like to point out that I love that we're not talking about LeBron James right now because the NBA gets to focus on the sport and not
Thank you.
characters.
Thank
So
you.
I like that. Highlight of the NBA season right now for me.
Thank you.
But as far as their road to it, no, I don't think they had an easier road because even though you'd say that they handled their opponents better, so that's why they beat them in less games, but they're handling the Bucks right now by double-digit wins with Milwaukee trying to get a 20-point, Phoenix with a 20-point plus lead, maintaining that through the end of the fourth quarter like that. I mean, that's what the Bucks had to do to even stay relative with their comeback the other day, but. So I just think that, like you said, they're playing as a unity and they're younger, and they just want it more. So whoever they're playing, I don't think it really matters to them.
How about you, Don?
Well, in Milwaukee, if they can contain the 3-point shooting, the Phoenix Suns, and get the ball rolling better, and can't even say his name right now, Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
If he could just step up, he seems to turn the ball over a little too much. If he could just play better basketball and the team as a whole play in better sync with each other, they can push it to 6 games. But if possibly they can win all their home games if they play like that and then make it a decision game 7. There's a small possibility if they can bring the team they played against Brooklyn, I think they can push it to 7.
And it goes to show too, especially at home. I mean, that the crowd that's a factor.
Yeah.
That is a huge factor. And now that they're going to be they're going to Milwaukee. I mean, imagine the atmosphere. It's going to be a game changer. Mm-hmm. And I feel that the unsung heroes, we need them to rise to the occasion. This is the finals. This is not a regular season game. I mean, they can't just rely solely on Giannis. I mean, the guy went through a hyper knee extension. Why not? Have you noticed that when Giannis was not playing, the team was playing better? The chemistry was much better.
That's what I wanted to point out. And I think that's the problem because I was looking at the box score. So Game 5 and Game 6, when they went against the Atlanta Hawks, Middleton was making between 25, 30 points. Holiday, around 25 points. We have Brook Lopez. Lopez had 33 points in Game 5. Then he had 13 points in Game 6. Then when it was Game 1, when Giannis came back, I mean, Middleton did pull out about 25 points. Lopez around 15, but Holiday 10. So that's one of the things I have noticed. When Giannis came back, they couldn't adapt to him. It was like, okay, let's go back to how we play. Let's make everything around Giannis. Whereas, okay, how can we make Giannis get back in the game, still pull around 30 plus points, but get these guys to continue their flow? But I think it's stopping their flow because Atlanta's close to Phoenix. I think they're pretty kind of have a similar game. And by them beating Atlanta without Giannis for the last 2 games, I mean, if Giannis wasn't playing, I mean, to be honest, if Giannis not playing, I think they can still pull it off without Giannis. That's just me, just from what I have saw.
And how about you, Chuck?
Well, they can't beat the Phoenix Suns without Giannis. But to his point, they can't beat the Phoenix Suns without Giannis and his team playing like they do without him. Because you're going to lose points when he's on the court because he scores 40 points a game. So that would show the decline in points. Mm-hmm. But if you can't support him in other ways, then any team in the playoffs this year, you'd take them, but not the Phoenix Suns and not right now. I think that with the injuries to the Phoenix Suns, if Milwaukee chooses to use their bigs better and can stop the 3-point shooting, then that's how they go Game 6, Game 7, and they can pull it out. If they don't, and Phoenix stays playing like Phoenix is playing, then they're going to take it in 5 to 6 games.
So, I mean, this is going to be kind of gutsy of saying this. For the Phoenix fans, Do you feel they might have a sweep? Don, do you think that could be possible?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Not possible.
Milwaukee's going to turn around, but this would be the pivotal game 3 right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just show what they got, and if they don't pull this game off, it could be a possibility of a sweep. So they have to win game 3 to avoid a sweep.
And I do agree with Chuck. I think when you do have a star player, I think it's all based on the coaching and what they're doing when they're practicing. They got Giannis who has to pull in so many points to at least get by. So we need to get these guys to stay consistent. It doesn't make sense of, okay, when Giannis is there, you decline. When Giannis is not there, you get better. We got to be consistent. So we got to get better coaching, figuring out a way to adapt and change so that you can become that threat.
I would like to see Milwaukee have Middleton step up. Even where's that guy that was making those points?
Yeah.
I mean, Brook Lopez, instead of focusing so much on the threes, get into the rebounds. Focus on getting aggressive to the bucket.
It's all small ball.
Yeah.
They don't play big anymore. Giannis could be a big. Brook Lopez can be a big, but they don't want to play big. They want to play small ball.
Phoenix's DeAndre Ayton's been staying consistent and getting the
Exactly.
boards.
That man deserves to get paid. That man deserves to get
rebounds
paid.
that one game, over 20 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
That alone was, what helped them win.
Mm-hmm.
If you could take away some of his dominance in the paint, you can easily beat Phoenix.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this to wrap this up? So, do you feel that if CP3 goes ahead and wins, and they win, do you feel he will come back? Do you think that will cement his legacy, or do you feel maybe he might want to go a couple more years?
I think he might give him one more year.
What about you, Chuck?
Yeah, he's definitely still going to play. I mean, he's not the kind that he's that on the last leg to where you win a championship and you go out. His love for the game is beyond that. If he brings these young guys a championship, he's going to want to bring them another one because that's the type of team player he is. So
I agree. I think he would do one more year and then see if they can get another one. But yeah, make that team better. Because the goal is for him is that I'm not going to be here that long. So when I'm gone, you guys should be a threat in the future.
Well, I will say that he will keep going. I mean, he's one of the best players in the league, and overall his leadership that he brings to the table is just amazing. How he was with the Clippers, and he saw success there. But when he came to Phoenix was in last place last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were terrible. And then for him to go there and then turn it around and to see Devin Booker come. I mean, he was already a good player anyway.
Wait,
I
thought they were really good at the bubble, though. Didn't they make
They didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make
the
the playoffs.
No.
Oh, they did have a nice little run at the end,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't enough. That's right.
So on that, who will win the MVP and why? I'm going to ask Chuck that question.
Oh, well, if the Suns get it, then CP3's getting the MVP. I mean, he may not be the best player on the court for the series, but they're going to give it to him out of either a respect or his effect on the team itself. And then obviously if he goes the other way, then Giannis will get. If the Bucks do pull it out, then Giannis had that big of an effect on the court. Right. So he's going to earn the MVP in the next 4 games if that's what it takes.
Right. I'm going to bandwagon what Chuck says. I mean, if the Suns win, they're going to give it to CP3 just out of respect. I mean, it's like it's due. If you're going to win a championship, you're going to get MVP. Again, if it's the Bucks, it's going to be Giannis.
How about you, Don?
There could be a slight chance that Booker may get it because he's been dominant the entire playoffs up until this point.
Yeah, his clutch shooting has brought them far.
Yeah.
And CP3 was hurt for a little bit, but not to take away from his skill. Mm-hmm. It's just that Booker has stayed pretty consistent, except for the couple games that in the previous series he kind of got locked up for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go give it to CP3. I mean, like I said, he's been in the league for so long. I think it's just one of those things that's going to be the icing on the cake. Give him the most valuable player, and I have to hear LeBron tweeting all the time there because they're best friends there. So
his movie's about to come out. He's got more spotlight his way anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Since 1990, Wichita's own Superstar Sports has everything for the fans' needs. Whereas for NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, or either college. So please check them out at either the Town West Mall in Wichita, Kansas, or the Town East Mall in Wichita, Kansas. We're at Superstar Sports, where every fan is welcome.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to the NFL season. So let's get to know each other's team here a little bit. So Patrick, who's your team that you follow?
I don't follow a team.
Is there a certain player that you like?
I'll tell you the truth. I actually like Josh Allen.
Okay.
I can't even think his first name. He's a wide receiver. Is it Diggs?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs. I like following them. I really like how they played last year, and I did fantasy, so they were the two that I watched. I just like how he was a great leader, how he really made everybody better on the field. But I don't really follow certain teams, but I do follow certain players, and those are the couple I do follow.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And they play for the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
Just to make sure.
Right.
All right, Chuck.
Well, regrettably, my team is still the Houston Texans.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Trust me, that organization has a lot to regret.
J.J. Watt, he played for the Texans,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
He
Moved on to bigger and greener pastures. Good for him. I do credit him for his influence and effect on the team, but he deserved to go somewhere to be successful. Why you picked the Cardinals is beyond me, because there's plenty of other teams to be successful at. But hey,
I thought he was going to go play with his brother in
I
Pittsburgh.
thought he should have, because aside from Roethlisberger's longevity at this point, like that team is still like that running back they pulled from Alabama, Najee Harris.
Roll Tide.
I'm a University of Michigan fan for the college side, and I've been following him since he was recruited, and he was all but going to University of Michigan out of high school, and he picked Alabama. And
he did a good job.
Yeah, but that guy, he stayed all the years he did in Alabama, and he's a dominant force. So, Godspeed to him in his career. But I wish J.J. Watt would have went and played with his brother, because that would have been a heck of a defense, man. With Devin Bush coming back, oh my goodness, that would be. And I'm not a Steelers fan by any means, but I just like to see talent on the field too. So.
And how about you, Don?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
And that's my team. I roll, ride, or die with them. Just hoping they can do some good things this year. Just get the defense beefed up, and they look pretty decent on offense. I'm hoping that with this new offensive line they picked up, that they get everything together and get the ball rolling.
So, hey, Don, speaking of the Raiders, were you upset that you lost the Tom Brady deal, hoping that he was going to come to Vegas?
No. He didn't need to come to Vegas. He's good right where he's at.
I know.
Yeah,
another Super Bowl.
He agrees too.
That's another Super Bowl. Okay, so what do you expect that the Raiders will do this year?
It's hard to say right now. I just got to see what they do in the preseason, because they picked up a lot of new players and a lot of free agents. So everything is almost brand new all over again. So because last year they had a great start and then just died. So the pandemic had part to do with it, with the whole everybody catching COVID and having to sit out, and then trying to get their team chemistry back. So it's kind of hard on them. I know they're not the only team it affected. It affected a lot of other teams, but hopefully this year with the preseason, everybody getting together, get the ball rolling.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So we know last year the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very interesting game. We got to see Tom Brady win his 7th Super Bowl ring. A little payback game, defeating the Chiefs' defense.
Yeah.
A lot of speculations there. I know that there was some issues with Andy Reid's son. That could have been a factor. Also, the poor preparation. I just felt that Todd Bowles and also Byron Leftwich, the whole Tampa Bay staff drew up an awesome scheme play, and it went into effect into the Super Bowl, and it threw Kansas City off. Yeah. Now we're in Kansas, so of course the Kansas City is the close team here. So, but facts are facts. Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, Kansas City, how many players of their offensive line was hurt? I think it was 3. Am I right?
4.
3 or yeah, I think it was
And Mahomes was injured too, right?
slightly.
Or was he-
It was his line. Eric Fisher
Yep.
and 2 other people were out.
Right.
So,
That's
they
right.
got a little leeway there, but
Sure.
it don't justify. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce,
Mhm.
and Edwards could not run the ball. And then where was Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, that was not Le'Veon's decide or choice. That was Reed's.
Okay,
Reed's
so
factor there.
but still, look at the weaponry that they had.
Right. Yeah.
And still nothing. They couldn't produce anything. I mean, which made no sense. When I was watching that Super Bowl, I'm just watching Gronk get his two touchdowns, watching Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
and then Leonard Fournette run. I mean, that Super. I'm just sitting back watching the game, and I'm like, this is Kansas City. This is a team that beat Buffalo
Yep.
in the AFC Championship,
Yeah.
shutting down Diggs,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
controlled Josh Allen
Mm-hmm.
in the line.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Tampa Bay that couple weeks before,
Mhm.
and for that to happen.
Mhm.
So,
Like they forgot how to play offense.
yeah, they forgot
Yeah.
to play. So, speaking of that, so let's just break that up real quick. Chuck, what do you expect the defending Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay, might do this year? Or what do you see them doing for this season?
They have the exact same thing. They're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but you're going to either have a better Buffalo team make it by chance because they did get beat by the Chiefs, but apparently the Chiefs are not as dominant as they say they are, and you never know what's going to happen in the year, this next year. Or you're going to have it's going to be a rematch. I think it will likely be a rematch, and the Chiefs will put up a better game because their team, their offensive line will be there. They're better off now this year anyway. But I still see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of their defense. And yes, Tom Brady is a factor, but their defense is what did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that defense is what's going to carry them again. So if they stay healthy and on pace like they are, it's going to be the exact same factor.
All right. And the way I see it is, there's a real good chance Tampa Bay will go back. Everyone came back. I mean, literally, that was amazing that the Tampa Bay organization was able to keep their pieces intact. I thought for a second maybe like Antonio Brown was going to leave, or what was that wide receiver? It's not dawning on me. Not who?
Not Mike Evans, right?
No, not Mike Evans. The other wide receiver. Oh,
Godwin.
Yes, Chris Godwin. I thought he was going to be gone, but no, he was able to come back. So Leonard Fournette is back, and they added another running back, Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah.
So he's coming in this year. So they're stacked. And I still feel they're going to win the division. But I would like to see I'm curious to see what Tampa Bay is going to do because they owned them in the regular season and then the playoffs. But we both know Drew Brees was kind of getting a little bit older. He struggled.
Right.
And again, they thought, okay, probably Tampa Bay is going to play this way. And nope. Again, they switch. It goes to good coaching,
Right.
but they were able to make adjustments.
Well, and I will say this: when it comes to the NFL, any given Sunday, and it's a long season, don't put the Rams down because Matt Stafford,
Oh yeah.
he not to say he wasted it, but for lack of a better term, he wasted a lot of time and talent in Detroit. So him coming in with years left on his career and he's still got that talent. That team is a good team, and that coach is a very good coach. The guy's borderline a genius when it comes to remembering stuff. So don't put them out. And, as silly as it may sound, the Dallas Cowboys, if Dak Prescott can keep his chip on his shoulder, then they will be on the same pace they were last year, throwing up ridiculous numbers and pulling out wins in a just Division I NCAA talented division. Like that division's terrible. It's garbage. So
But don't forget, they're on Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
And
well,
every team that's been on Hard Knocks has not been very successful.
that's true, but I still think at this point, like it's do or die because that roster can't stay longer than this year. But I think Dak Prescott is the bigger factor in it. He's got such good talent behind his arm, and again, barring injury, if he keeps that chip on his shoulder, they're gonna make the playoffs, and you're going to hear all the talk, and you're going to hear the fan base be as ridiculous as they are, and they may be. I mean, they just all talk all the time since 20 years now. But
no offense to the Dallas Cowboy fans,
right,
okay? I just
their rep is their
because you
rep.
know how them boys are. You got to watch out.
I will give Dak Prescott credit where credit is due. That guy
Don't
plays
forget
well.
about Washington. They have a great defense.
Yeah.
They did put up some good
And
games.
Fitzmagic might do some things with that team.
I mean, the
To get the
Browns
ball
too.
moving.
Browns, Packers. I mean,
Yeah, the Browns are up there. They just that I don't know that Baker Mayfield can handle that type of playoff pressure. Like make it to the AFC title game, and if you break that barrier, then you prove yourself and your character. But I don't think he's got it to take past the AFC title game if they make it that far.
I mean, they've got solid. I mean, Chubb is an awesome running back. I mean, he's aggressive. I mean,
The tandem, like that's a two-headed beast there. Like that's something else.
So, I mean, okay, well, a little bit on the Browns. I mean, they major improvement.
Yeah.
You know, the dog pound, major improvement. But still, when you're in that division, the AFC North, I mean, you still got Big Brother and Pittsburgh Steelers, and then you got the other brother in Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
Still solid defenses. And then Cincinnati, who knows? Joe Burrow, is he going to, now he's recovered from his surgery of his knee, how the Bengals are going to be?
He needs to get out of that down. He needs to get off that team because that is going to be your next decade's biggest waste of talent. I mean, you got to give that kid credit, but if he doesn't get out, he's going to get surgery after he doesn't have the protection. Like, there's just
Well,
no
do you
way.
feel with the new coaching that they're going to have, that they might make?
Not in that division. Pittsburgh's going to be one of the best defenses in the AFC. Like, there's no way he's going to escape that pressure. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? And you're, like you said, you can't be starting right out of college and get hit just like that over and over and over again. I don't think I don't think his body can't handle that. So he needs to get out of that.
What team do you think which team would benefit having Joe Burrow, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Honestly, because you see a lot of players go from AFC team to AFC team. They don't really switch conferences out too often, it doesn't seem like. So you get him on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what you do because that offense is really good. They need a young talent. That defense keeps that offense healthy because that defense does what it does and keeps the offense off the field. Or,
Yeah, like last year, Pittsburgh, how many games they won in a row? It was
Pittsburgh? Was it 11?
I think it was 11.
It was something like that.
The first game they lost to was Buffalo. I called that. They were going to lose to Buffalo. So, but I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'm still curious to see what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, is he going to still play, or he's going to decide, hey, I'm going to go to Jeopardy?
You need to come on down to H-Town is what you need to do. I'll take that any day of the week.
No, he needs to come to Denver.
To
Denver. I mean, we're getting the pieces lined up.
Where legends go to die. You get your last Super Bowl.
Hey, we'll get you in. Come on through.
That's what they do.
We'll take care of you. And go.
Because they said the landing spots that he wanted was out of Vegas and Denver.
Yeah.
I'd rather not get him come to Vegas because they'd have to give up too much for him.
Yep. But do you think Carr's going to take you past the next 5 years on his proven record?
I think with the pieces we're starting to get now, I think that they can.
Yeah. I feel like he's got 3 or 4 years left that if they don't do it, he's going to leave or they're going to sell him high.
Yeah.
Because he's got talent too. So you either sell high or he's going to leave
because
himself.
he's been consistent with numbers.
Yeah.
Him and Aaron Rodgers both been averaging over 4,000 a season.
Right.
It's just that our defense has been terrible.
Yeah, Gruden's going to be on the hot seat too.
Yeah.
You can't,
definitely.
You can't pay a man that much and not pull playoff games out of it.
Especially when you promise a Super Bowl in 10 years and we're in year, 4?
Yeah.
So he's got 6 more to go. So he's all right. All right. So let's just be real brief on this. So who do you feel is going to be the hot team going into this season? I know we've said some names out there. If you could just pick, let's just pick one from the AFC and one from the NFC. I'll give this to Chuck.
Outside of the common Tampa Bay and Kansas City Chiefs, because those are your 2 majors, I would say it'd be Buffalo, and I'm going to go with LA.
Okay. Which LA, just to make
Rams,
sure.
LA, yeah.
Okay.
I will say the Chargers are a talented team, but no, sorry.
Don?
You have to keep your eye on Tennessee. With the pickup that they
Okay,
had.
that was the team I was figuring out.
I mean,
That
they
was
got
the-
Julio
yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
So they got so him and
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, and they got, the tight end, Fisk?
But see,
Fisker,
don't forget
right?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Well, of course, Derrick Henry. I mean,
Yeah, that's
but no,
what-
I want to say, what's the tight end's name? I want to say it's Fisk. Is it Fisker? I think that's his
I
name.
know who you're talking
He's a
about.
big body.
Yeah.
You know, if Ryan Tannehill can expand a little bit more, I mean, because having, he just went to the Patriots. Oh, was it Corey? Is it Corey Brown? I can't remember. What was the wide receiver? No, Corey Davis.
Yeah.
When Corey Davis, with him and A.J. Brown splitting catches, I mean, that was a nice – it was kind of unfortunate to not see them advance in the playoffs. I thought they were going to beat Baltimore because they beat them that year before to go into the AFC title game. But last year, I mean, Baltimore finally got over the hump over them and was able to beat them. But that's a good one, Don. I'm curious to see what they're going to do because in that division, I mean, we have Jacksonville. They're stepping up right now. So with them, now they got a new coach at Urban Meyer. They have Trevor Lawrence. They got a solid quarterback. Well, he's got caliber. I mean, of course, winning a couple championships at Clemson. And now you have Robinson, the running back. Because remember when Leonard Fournette got traded, when he got let go from Jacksonville, he went to Tampa, which got his Super Bowl. But he stepped up, and I had him in my fantasy football, and he was racking up points.
Well, Travis Etienne is their rookie running back too, so they're going to workhorse him, and he's also catching the ball.
And what is Urban Meyer known for when he was coach over there at Ohio State and Florida? The Gators.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as far as player utilization like that, yeah,
he loves the tight ends.
Yeah,
he loves the tight ends. He uses a lot of open schemes. Now, Tim Tebow. How could we forget Tim Tebow?
The ultimate tight end.
The ultimate of all time, Tim Tebow. We got to see.
But I guess I can't forget about Indianapolis. They did get the quarterback from Philly.
Oh yes.
I can't say his name right now.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
So they did have a decent squad also. So adding that quarterback to the mix to help them out. And that defense is pretty good. So it's like them two in Indianapolis and Tennessee is one of them's going to win the division, one's going to the walk, to play, the walk hard.
It's like I spoke to a friend of mine. Shout out to Kyle and Cole. They're big Colts fans. I was telling them that the Colts have an amazing defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fat, they're big, they're fast. And then offensively, I mean, T.Y. Hilton is still okay.
Yeah.
He's a good slot receiver getting going, but, we need more aggressiveness. I mean, we're talking about, remember the days when it was Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, and all those players there. But for Indianapolis, I still think they can still steal some games from Indianapolis. I mean, not Indianapolis, I'm sorry, from Tennessee, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then Houston, that's going to be a sweep.
Yeah.
But anyways,
That's a weak
there's still an opportunity there. So I'm curious to see on my end, on the NFC. I know I'm going to get criticized for this, but yes, I'm going to agree with Chuck on this. I am curious to see what the Rams are going to do.
Yeah.
I feel that Sean McVay has an elite player in Matthew, because Matthew Stafford still has the arm. Watching him play in Detroit, I still remember when they went to the playoffs, and back when Megatron was there, and they were a fun team to watch. It's just Detroit has not been able to get over the hump in the playoffs. I mean, the last success was back to our hometown hero Barry Sanders back in, I think it was '91. But overall, the Rams are in a good spot.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's an amazing pass rusher.
That whole division.
It's tough. I mean, Arizona's stepping up as well. But on the AFC side, besides the Chiefs, because I still think the Chiefs are still the dominant team, I'm going to give it to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. The reason why Josh Allen has gotten better and better
every year.
Every year.
Mm-hmm.
Adding Stephon Diggs, that tandem has been amazing.
Their defense
Now,
is good too.
I'm still the running situation. This is what drives me nuts about them. They're inconsistent in the running game.
Yeah.
In the AFC game, Devin Singletary. He wasn't being utilized
Right.
like they needed to be. They switched it up. They can't do that.
Yeah.
We saw in that Super Bowl when Tampa Bay was running the ball, they were just dissecting that line.
Right.
If you're going to get success going in, you've got to run the ball.
Mhm.
So, but we're going to keep going on our next episode of the Sports Fellas. We're going to dive into the season. So we're going to go in depth of each single team, and we'll kind of take it from there. So we're going to take a break on the segment, and we want to thank our following sponsors.
Razor Cut Information would like to thank you, Ernie Relas, at State Farm, located at 11330 East Central, Wichita, Kansas. Please visit Ernie to talk about your home, auto, life insurance needs. As they say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So Chuck, tell me about going on right now in the regular season in the Major League Baseball. So who are the hot teams right now?
Well, that's actually quite a few hot teams, I think. You got LA was doing good.
Which LA team?
The Dodgers.
All right. I mean, because we have Anaheim fans
That's
out there.
true.
I just want to make
Actually,
sure.
I used to be an Anaheim fan. I grew up in SoCal, and until the Astros went to the AL West, I was separated from the American and the National League, so I got to have best of both worlds. But once they crossed divisions, I had to pick one. So the Angels took the high road. But Ohtani, man, that's a ball player to watch. Like that's when you have a pitcher and a hitter like that brings back a pure talented player. Like you have a good hitter or you have a good pitcher, but now you're getting a cross between them. That's exciting to watch. I like that. But as far as teams themselves, the Dodgers, the White Sox are doing good. The Red Sox, are taking that division. The Astros are heading the AL West. And I think the White Sox are doing really good too. So, it's a long season heading up into the middle right now into the All-Star break, which I think is a silly thing anyway, but going to changing venues like they did and stuff. Like this year was able to bring back focus to the actual sport itself in all sports, because you had the big break with COVID and everything detracting from it, no fans and stuff like that. Like that's what America likes is sports. Like our fan bases are huge and they're so dedicated to their teams, and you were able to sit there and start focusing and detract from the deterring of COVID and stuff like that, and get to get involved with your team. And every America's favorite pastime fan getting to be able to do that is now detracted. And it's detracted because social issues are huge. And another big one would be, with baseball is this whole cheating issue. And it hits me hard because the Astros did their time. They did what they did. You make the crime, you do the time. And now come to find out, well, everyone's doing it. So, not everybody, but it's a widespread issue, and it takes away from the sport itself, and it's not fair to the fans, and it's not fair to the players that don't deal with it. Today I got on my Ken Griffey Jr. jersey. He was one of my favorite athletes, actually of all time, but definitely my favorite baseball player. And remembering his heyday going through it, and then everything that come after that with the Balco and stuff like that, and those types of scandals, he, to me, solidified just decent character with integrity, playing the game to its rightful purpose. So I'd like the MLB to focus on getting it back to the way it was. The Dodgers pitcher right now taken away from their stride with his issues and stuff like that. Like, let's just play ball. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't be decent, you can't have integrity when you're doing the sport, then you're just taken away from it. So I'd like to see it get back to its rightful field.
Do you feel, Chuck, that the Dodgers can make a repeat?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They've got the roster. I mean, they do. But again, I think it comes down to the length of the season, and all you actually have to do is pull it together for the playoffs. There's only one October, so whoever gets it done then, you play out of the series and see who comes out on top. But credit to your Red Sox. I think they're turning it with their organization. I think they probably, in the American League, between the White Sox and the Astros, like that's going to be a good three-headed, depending on how the seeding goes and how the playoffs run out. One of those three teams is going to show out, and they're going to have a good chance against the National League team.
All right. Well, looking forward to that. To the next episode, we'll see how the teams are lining up going into the All-Star break. So we have a new segment, and this is called mano a mano. So what we do is we pick some random questions, and what we're going to do, how it's going to start off is we're going to ask the questions. The two participants are going to duke it out, and whoever wins will move on to the next person, and after that, whoever wins will become our top dog of that week. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Don and Patrick. We're going to start off with Patrick. Will Giannis go back to a finals?
Yes. And the reason why is because I feel that with yes, I would say yes, because next year they're going to have a longer season. They're going to have a little bit of a longer season. If they won't win this year, they're going to hopefully figure out ways to get the team better offensively, because I think by them knowing that they're having a hard time with the pick and roll, they're going to work on that, get him a little bit better, probably get some new picks in the NBA draft. However, if we got the Brooklyn Nets with the top three, those Brooklyn Nets, and just the East is still a really tough conference. If they're not healthy, then he will go to the finals. But if they are healthy and they do not improve next year, he will not go to the finals. But I think next year he will go.
How about you, Don?
I think with teams like Atlanta, Philadelphia still, despite what happened this league season, I think those two teams besides Brooklyn are going to be your top three teams. And right now they're up and coming, and I don't think that Milwaukee can handle those teams next year. Seeing basically what they've done this year in the playoffs, Atlanta's going to get better. So Young's going to have more experience now, and then Brooklyn, with the injuries, as long as they stay healthy, it's going to be hard to beat them. And then with Philadelphia, how that just happened, I don't know, but they're going to come back. And as long as Ben Simmons can actually contribute with more points and learn how to shoot, his defense is good. But if he can shoot better, I think Philadelphia is going to be the top team again in the East.
And that's a good point on both sides. You guys both had some good solid points. I
want to make one more point.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Here's why I think Giannis might win, because Brooklyn is going to be injury prone. I just know for a fact they are not going to be healthy. I think Kyrie, he's going to get injured again, because he always gets injured every year. Durant's the same. Harden will probably be the guy that will probably stay a little healthy than them two. We got, and again, Sixers. Joel Embiid, he's injured prone. He doesn't take care of himself. He needs to get some muscle. He needs to stop eating those burgers, and he needs to become a big. He needs to stop shooting threes. He needs to become a big. And if the Sixers keep Ben Simmons, which they will, and if he gets better, then yes, I agree. And again, Atlanta will get better next year. They will get better next year. But again, Philadelphia and Brooklyn are injury prone. They're going to get injuries again next year. They're probably Bucks competition again will be the Hawks.
Don, do you have anything to say on that?
I just have a little issue with Milwaukee's consistency.
And I agree with you on that.
Because if Middleton doesn't show up, that team falls apart. Giannis is going to score his 30, 40 points a game. But if Middleton and Drew Holiday can't step their game up and stay on a consistent basis, I don't think they can make it back to the finals.
I agree with that, but I like Carlos's point. I remember he said that when Giannis wasn't there, they were being consistent. And I think that's just came up recently here in this last season. Right, and that's what we need. That's what they need to do. Yeah. And I think you're right. And I think that's with a lot of teams I've seen.
Question is, can they do that next season on a regular basis?
I think they can. It's the coaching. I think it's the coaching, the practicing, and making sure how to adapt when you have a guy that can pull off, be able to share the energy a little bit and be like, we don't necessarily need Giannis to be pulling off these big numbers. Let him get around the 30, 35 points. But let's get you, Brook Lopez, to get around 15 points, but we need you down low. Middleton, we want you to help with the pick. We want you to help, in the paint.
He's got to be able to run that offense.
He needs to run the offense. Drew Holiday as well. So, yes, the inconsistency, I see it too. So, yeah. But, yeah.
This is really tough. Good points. Real good points. So I'm going to have to give this one to Patrick because he referred me, Dom. He referred me. So
I was pointing to Dom.
Yeah,
I was like,
so,
he had a good point. So.
To your point there, like I said, Ben needs to go back to shooting camp. I have no room to talk. I'm not no basketball player like that, but the guy was scared to go for the dunk or the shot. It was like right there, and he was afraid of the contact. No. You're paying you millions. You've been acting funny ever since you and one of those Kardashians broke up. You lost your identity.
That does it to a lot of their exes.
Yeah, that's right.
So what we need him to do is Doc needs to go get the staff, get him ready, and then like you said with Joel Embiid, he needs to stop playing, shooting for the threes, stop going and play big. So I'm gonna give you that, Patrick. So you move on to this round.
If I could, real quick. So
yes, please.
The question is Giannis going to the finals again. You didn't say whether it was next year or not.
Yeah, that's good.
So what I would say is yes, he will, but probably not for Milwaukee.
Oh, we will leave that on the next one. So now that you made your presence known, Chuck,
sorry.
The question will go to you. Will Luka and the country that represents Slovenia be a threat to the U.S. in this upcoming Olympics?
So I did some thinking on this, and to the point of I do think there's going to be detractors with the Olympics. There's no fans. COVID's going to be a factor. Let's let it play out as it should. Everyone stays healthy. Everyone stays at their highest level, and they do what they want to do what they need to do. Team USA, I'm going to take a little different approach as I did, earlier in my thought process. Team USA hasn't played like the Dream Team since the Dream Team. So, yes, their talent is there, and it always will be, but for some reason, they're not dominant, and they don't always win. So, do I think Luka and Slovenia want it more? Yeah, I do. And I don't think USA's roster reflects what it should be. If LeBron James wanted to be the best basketball player of all time, he would have did what Michael Jordan did, and he would have played for Team USA.
Yep.
And he would have won their championship, because what would America like more than anything else right now? To show their skill and show their talent. And they're not going to get to do it because they don't have the most talented ball players on that roster. How many Brooklyn Nets are on that roster? Not as many as there should be.
Right.
So, granted, the injuries are a factor. Would you want to go play for, you glory for your country when you're facing injury prone in a longer season next year? Probably not. So, I think that Luka and Slovenia will be a threat to the USA because they want it more.
How about you, Patrick?
I totally agree. I think any country's a threat to Team USA. They haven't been dominant since the Dream Team. I would say probably the last time they were somewhat dominant was when Vince Carter dunked on that guy. That was probably the last time they were dominant. And then since then, when I remember seeing like Dream Team, Team USA, I was like, I don't really care anymore. You're not dominant anymore. So yes, COVID's going to be a factor. Again, when you watch the bubble, a lot of the NBA players said I wasn't on my A game because there was no fans. So the way we play is going to be different. So when there's no fans, they probably aren't going to play at their A game as much. So when Luka and his team is going to be a threat, I would say they might second guess themselves and some of them may not show. Maybe they might second guess and say, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to play like a bubble anymore. Because keep in mind, remember LeBron James, they were arguing about the injuries. Everybody was arguing about the bubble. So this is another bubble for the NBA players. So do I think that some of them are going to go to Tokyo in a bubble per se and play for Team USA? Maybe second guess themselves? Probably not. So I think there's going to be some situation when it gets close that some of the players are going to be like, never mind, I'm not going to play.
You got anything to say, Chuck?
No, I think we're pretty much on the same page with that.
Yeah.
I just, would like to see it get played out and have an actual Olympic, tournament turn out. There's a lot of detractors in that essence too. So let them play.
Yeah. And it goes to show too for the Team USA in basketball with LeBron not participating this year. I mean, he's what else does he have to do? I mean, he's been to what, nine straight finals. He's already got Olympic gold. He's also won 4 NBA championships. So for him not to participate in this Olympics, I wouldn't say it's a big factor. I mean, because Kevin Durant's still going in. I mean, it's Coach Popovich has got that taken care of, and Steve Kerr, I think he's the assistant for that team. So they've got guidance going in. But I'd like to see a different country rise, just for the simple fact, just to see it, make it more interesting.
Yeah.
So on this end, I'm going to go ahead and Patrick, you won it again.
I was kind of doing this.
Yeah. So no, you're going. So
can I make one
go ahead.
point? I agree with again about the dominance of Team USA, and I want to see what Chuck thinks about this. The way I feel about the Dream Team was, and it's just like the reason why a lot of people don't watch the NBA. They were never friends, right? But when they get on the court, they know how to work together. That's why we always enjoy watching the All-Star games. When they played the All-Star games, those were fun because they were playing basketball. Now you get these younger guys, they're playing like this is recreational, right? That's why we don't watch All-Stars anymore, because it's boring. All they're doing is just trying to show off. Showboating, showing off, not playing the game, right? Now when they're playing for Team USA, it's the same thing. They have the talent, but they're not executing. See, Team USA, they were threats. They were monsters. They were executing. Team USA now, they're not executing. They should be the threat. They should be coming in as the threat, but they're not. And so that's the reason why they're not going to be that dominant team anymore. I mean, what do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Watching Kobe Bryant play for Team USA, that was awesome.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that. He didn't have the dream team, in his essence towards the end of it, but he played to play, and he did it for the reason of the game. Not to say that players' careers don't matter. This is their career, and this is their paychecks and their livelihoods, and that does matter. So playing exhibition games takes away from that. Understand it completely. I get that. But one point I would make, and especially in today's social climate, is social injustice needs to be hit on hard. And what bigger platform do you have than the world stage? And LeBron tried, and he put his foot in his mouth. Well, what better way to sit there and come back and make a better statement? Why not take part in that? You know what I mean? And you said earlier, LeBron, what purpose would he have for this? I think that for me, I don't have a take at it because I'm not an NBA player and I don't have his social platform. But if that's a big factor for you, what bigger stage do you have to present your voice? You know what I mean? So I think on his sense right now, you don't have to play to put up numbers and say, oh, I want to win it for USA. Because, well, the United States of America isn't very cohesive right now either. But you have a platform and you have a voice that a lot of people want to hear. So go speak.
Yep, okay. I agree.
Oh, that was a good one, Chuck. You almost had it. You just came in a little too late. So, but we'll go ahead and give you the platform here. So, Patrick, you get to sit back and get to play the last person here.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to go ahead and start it with you off, Don, here. The Cowboys will feature in this year's Hard Knocks. Do you feel the Cowboys will be a different team this year than the previous years?
Provided that they stay healthy, they can be a consistent team. I can't say yet they'll win their division because you still got Washington defense to contend with. But if they can get past Washington twice, then I believe they will be a playoff team.
How about you, Chuck?
Well, I think you're going to see the same team you did in 4 games at the beginning of the season last year, because that team was hot and that team was playing together, and Dak Prescott was showing what he's capable of doing. A lot of people knocked him because they said, well, who doesn't have to throw for 500 yards a game? Well, a lot of teams suck and they don't throw for 500 yards a game, nor do they win the games that they throw for 500 yards a game in, and he was doing it. So to say that he had to play like that, well, of course he did. Every quarterback has to play like that to win the game. Every quarterback was down in the game and didn't throw for 500 yards or didn't win the game, but he was doing just that. So I think that's the team you're going to see. if Ezekiel Elliott can get his head in the game and play the game, that's going to be a very good team. I don't think Hard Knocks is going to play as much of a factor in it as the Cowboys organization themselves always detract from themselves. Like, you don't need an HBO special to take away from the Cowboys. The Cowboys do it on their own. Like that's what they're good at. But that roster is still a very talented roster. You know what I mean? And injuries hurt them every year too in very, very key positions. So stay healthy, stay a team, and you will. That division was almost under 500 and still put a playoff team in the mix. So come on.
But they had to have a winner.
Right, but Washington was actually kind of a team to play in that playoff game. You know what I mean? They showed out. But so yeah, I think they will be a different team than they were at the end of the season, but they'll be the same team they were at the beginning of the season.
Don, anything to?
Their defense. Plain and simple, and that's another factor. Their defense has got to play better.
Mm-hmm.
They can't give up 400 or 500 yards a game and expect to win. You can't expect Dak Prescott every game to throw for 400 yards.
I'm just curious to see what's going to happen especially with New York. They're back. Daniel Jones is back from his injury. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, we can't forget about them.
Overall, how is the NFC East going to look? And especially with Dallas, the whole offseason deal was with Dak and his money, and Dak was a factor when he got hurt against the games against the Giants. It seemed like Dallas lost its identity, and they were and Zeke was not getting his runs. Like he had a poor performance, not because it was his fault.
He didn't really run hard.
It's just the line wasn't really there to help him out.
Well, that's because the Red Rocket didn't really show up and play either.
And then, but like what Chuck was saying, what you said, Don, about not the Redskins, but the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing to watch how that Ron Rivera turned that around.
Oh yeah,
It made him more of a defensive prowess. He's known for his defense, and to see Alex Smith get a shot again, that was kind of nice. But we knew that wasn't going to last long.
Right.
So they still need to find their identity on the offense. But, they have the pieces that they need. Yeah. They're young.
Someone asked earlier, where should Aaron Rodgers go? Possibly the Washington football team.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If they could give him the money, he's got a defense behind him, and you pull in one wide receiver, that's a completely different ball team.
Question is, does he want to go there?
Yeah.
Probably not.
They should have went to the Bears, but that's just me. But yeah. So that division itself is still probably going to be overall compared to that conference probably pretty weak. But the teams, where else can you go but up from that ceiling level? So.
Well, all right. Well, hey, you survived this one, Chuck, so I'll give you that one.
Nice.
So, but overall winner, we're going to give it to Pat.
Oh, man.
So, Pat, you are the top dog. All right. So, we'll see who you got on the next one. So, for the next episode, we will find out after the results of the NBA Finals. We'll talk about in depth of the NFL season. We'll go over also baseball, and we'll go over the upcoming winners of the Euro Cup and also the Latin Cup as well. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. I want to say thank you to our listeners and viewers. Please subscribe, like on YouTube. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Spotify and iTunes. So as a treat to us, we will do is please, if you like and subscribe, enter in our sweepstakes. We got a giveaway for a gift certificate to Superstar Sports. So all you have to do for that is your name and email address into our website. We will have that on the following links below. And also for our out-of-towners, for the people that are not in the Wichita region or in Kansas itself, we'll have also a gift card to footballfanatics.com or fanatics.com, and you can represent your favorite college, your favorite NFL, Major League Baseball, or NBA team. So thank you again, you guys. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Sports Fellas. This is Carlos signing off.
And, of course, the top dog himself, Patrick, signing off.
This is Chuck. Thanks for the time, guys.
This is Don, and I'm signing off.
All right, you guys. Thank you. We see you in the next episode.